Hello everyone, welcome back to East Coast Taekwondo. I'm Casey Mazereski with another training tip for you. Today's training tip is we're going to go over palm heel strike. Now a palm heel strike is very similar to a punch. In fact, almost all of the body movement and all the body mechanics are exactly the same as a punch, only instead of with a fist, you're going to hit with the palm part of your hand right here, the palm heel. So when you do this, you're hitting down low. That's important to remember. We'll get over that in a second. But so when would you do palm heel? Some people prefer palm heel over punch because of the risk of damaging their knuckles and breaking their hand, and that's a legitimate risk and a legitimate concern. I would say that to overcome that, you need to do knuckle conditioning. And there's a lot of ways you can do that, and we'll do videos on that down the road. But for a palm heel, so if you remember with a punch, okay, you're in your fighting stance, backhand is going to strike, you're going to twist your hips, twist your shoulders, twist your whole body around. So if I'm here and I was going to punch, as I punch, I'm driving my shoulders, my hips, and even my leg. I'm coming up on the ball of my foot to lunge my body forward and drive that punch straight into my target. Okay, instead of using the two big knuckles, now I would use this part of my hand. Now it's important to use the lower part of your hand, right here, the palm, because if you come up higher, there's no support back here. So if I hit up here, like on the front side of my knuckles, here's the back side, here's the front, what's going to happen when I strike my target, there's no support back here, I'm going to flex my whole hand backwards and risk breaking my wrist. Also, even if that doesn't happen, the fact that my hand's flexing backward, that's a lot of energy of my strike. Instead of going into my target, that's going into me now, back into me. But if I hit here, if you remember the example I gave with the punch video, when you punch, you want all this to be lined up all the way from this knuckle straight to your shoulder. The analogy I said was a battering ram with bone. Well, it's the same thing with palm heel. When you do the palm heel, you want to hit where this is supported. This is now a straight line of bone going all the way back to here. So if I was going to palm heel, I don't want to hit up here where the pads of my hand is on the front side of my knuckles, basically. My hand is curled like this. I don't want to smash my fingers and crush my fingers. They're already curled like this. But if I hit with this part, there's going to be bone supporting that all the way through. So if I hit palm heel, it's important that you hit with that part. Now, where would I strike? Well, palm heel being a softer part of my hand, I don't want to hit anywhere on the body that's soft. I wouldn't do a palm heel to the chest or to the ribs or to the belly area, necessarily down here, because it's not really going to have the same effect. But if I did anywhere up here, even to the side of the head, the side of the skull, a palm heel is a good alternative to a fist if your knuckles aren't conditioned and you don't want to go knuckle bone to bone. You can do palm heel to the side of the head, palm heel to the ear, palm heel to the side of the jaw, palm heel to the face, up to the nose, palm heel underneath the chin and pushing up and back. So when I do my palm heel, like I said, so the punch was straight in. Okay, palm heel is going to be almost like a high punch aiming to the face. But if I hit here, I twist my whole body, I'm going in and up. So there's that old saying, control the head, and control the body. Wherever the head goes, the body follows. If I can push that head up and back, now his body has to follow as well. So even if I don't get a shot like a punch that's going to crush everything, you know, a punch is much more like a battering ram and crushes and breaks. You could do that with the palm heel, but the softness of this might deaden the blow a little bit. You still, when you hit, the head, like I said, goes back, neck is flexing, now you're going to take him off balance, and that's a devastating hit into the nose, probably going to break the nose. He's going to stumble backwards, and now you can disengage and get out of the way. So that's palm heel. It's very similar to a punch. It's basically like taking a spear and putting a different tip on the end of the spear. Everything else of of that weapon is the same. The body mechanics, the way you extend your arm, the way you strike, the way you twist your shoulders, pulling the other hand back, torquing your hips, coming up on the ball of the foot, all those things are exactly the same. It's just this instead of that. That's our training tip this week. If you enjoyed it, please click like. Please leave any questions or comments down below. Also, make sure you subscribe and check out all of our training tips here at East Coast Taekwondo. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also, if you're ever in the Fairfield, Connecticut area, come down and check us out in person. Thank you.